Well, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. I've got something new and very cool on the table. This is the Arcane Designs Preytheon. This is a recent drop from Israel over at Arcane Designs, and I have seen this thing go from concept to production. I saw it at Blade Show Atlanta, and I saw it again at Blade Show West, and now here they are, and it's a very cool little knife. It's S35VN. I happen to get the G10 version. You can get one in full tie. It's just a surprisingly excellent small cutting implement. Now I say small because it is. I mean, we're talking about 7¼ inches, which for me is a pretty small knife. And yet, because of the way he designed this thing, and you can come forward into this little choil spot right here, it's very comfortable and very slicey. It's got an excellent little drop point to it. It's got that arcane pattern. It's just a nice knife. Now, these are about $200. I'll put a link to the Arcane Design website if you want to check them out. There may still be some available. There may not. He does small drops, but things that are popular tend to come back. So you can keep your eyes open if you are so inclined. One of the nice things about this knife is that these inserts, you can swap them out for other colors. You could, for instance, spend a lot of money and get mokutai or something really fancy. I'm not going to do that. I have some gray ones coming. I'll just do that. For now, this is how it came out of the box, and this is how you're going to get to look at it. Now, it is, of course, on ball bearings, as is typical of its time. It does have steel liners. As you can see, it's a liner lock, and we're locked up at about 25%. It's kind of dark in there, but I promise that's how it's going. There is good lock bar access, which is really nice. The action is fantastic. Now, it's a 3-deployment method knife. You can top flip it, front flip it. As you can see, it's got that little mohawk right there. You can also get your finger inside this little fuller and spidey flick it. And of course, it's got really, really nicely good, well-functional thumb studs. As I stutter my way around. This is just a great knife. The steel liners are milled out quite a bit on the inside, and it's got an excellent deep carry pocket clip, as you can see. Now, I haven't had it that long. I have done it's got some schmutz on the blade. I do the basic cutting I always do, and it's been superb at that. It's got a lovely sort of pokey design. It's got a very, very refined tip. You're not going to want to pry with this, but please don't do that anyway. It's pokey if you need it to be and slicey right where you want it to be. Excellent for draw cuts. It's got this nice big jimping back here. Now, my hands are a little big, but I still come down on it, right? I can feel it. Draw cuts are really nice because it's got this flare at the tip of the blade right where my finger lands. So you cut very well. Action on the bearings is very good. It's just a superb knife. He did a great job. It is left or right carry interchangeable, as you can remove the pocket clip from this screw back here and switch it if you wanted to. I'm a righty, so I don't have to, but for you lefties out there, you can. You can't switch what side the lock bar is on. That's the way that goes sometimes. Yeah, it's just a cool cutting tool. Let's get some specs out of the way. As I mentioned, it is 7¼ overall. You get 3 inches of cutting on that S35VN blade on just a little over 3 inches from here. I mean, it's 3¼ back to this spot, but we'll do it to here. That's it. So it's a little over 3 inches. Grip area is, well, let's take a look. So this choil, if we go from there, you're looking at 3½ inches. If you add in that forward choil, which you can do, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 1/8. So plenty of room, right, to move around on this knife and grip it any way you want. Closed length, coming in at 4 1/8, 4 1/16. Yeah. And the in the pocket profile is very nice, right? We're looking at 1¼ inch overall. Of course, this is G10, so it's very smooth along here. Nothing to bang into stuff in your pocket. Pocket clip works very well. It's got a lot of room. It's a nice tall clip. It's a little pokey right here. It's not sharp, but if you're not used to it, if you're used to something that's got more of a rounded edge on it, you're definitely going to notice it when you're getting in and out of your pocket. It's got a G10 backspacer. Mine came absolutely dead centered. Yeah, it's just a great pocket knife. Let's do some size comparisons. We'll put it up there. Line it up. Now, it's a small knife. It is. As you can see, here's the full-size Griptilian, which just dwarfs it. And here it is against the Bug Out, which is actually a little bit longer than the Preytheon. And that, of course, means that it's going to be considerably smaller than our old friend, the PM2, but much more in line size-wise with the Para 3. So if this is your size knife, if this is your size knife, then the Preytheon absolutely will work out for you. But I got to tell you, as somebody who generally enjoys, what's on the table, bigger cutting implements, the Preytheon is still a surprisingly good carry. He did it in just a really good way. I love the way the blade is considerably lower than the handle. You're not going to be able to get the blade down on the table without hitting your knuckles, but it does give you more room, particularly if you're holding it like this, right, to use that belly really effectively. As I said, these are $200, which for an Arcane design knife is really, really reasonable. His stuff tends to be very expensive, and I have to tell you, having met him a number of times and watching the way he does his designs, he puts a lot of work into these things. They are never really simple and basic designs. What do I mean by that? Well, this is an incredibly simple and basic design. I love this thing, but the new Thai version of the Spiro also really basic, very simple, very straightforward. Israel has got more of an artist aesthetic when he does his knives, and so there are different styles of jimping. There are cutouts and cutaways. There are, more swedging and different shapes on the blade. All of these add complexity to the basic build from the factory, which takes more time. Even the G10, right? There's milling lines on the inserts, as you can see there. There are milling lines on the back of the G10 here. There are milling lines on the G10 here. All of these things, these steps, take time. And time is money. So while he could have produced an incredibly basic knife, probably would have come in considerably less money, he kept his artistic feel in what is a more budget-friendly knife for Arcane design. And so you end up with a knife that is hundreds of dollars less than his other knives, but still feels and looks like an Arcane design. I think that's really cool. He didn't cut any corners here. Let's go ahead and weigh it out. The Preytheon comes in at 3.2 ounces, which for a 3 1/4 inch blade, for about a 3 1/4 inch blade, like I said, 3 and a little bit of cutting on just at 3 1/4 inches overall. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, it's not a lightweight like the Bug Out, but it's not a tank either. And it's got really good feel in hand. Like, it feels substantial. I dig it. I think you will too if you're into this sort of thing. I mean, there are people that really don't care that much about artistic merit in knives. I don't blame them. Knives are cutting tools first and foremost, but companies like Arcane bring a pretty heavy artistic element to it, and yet manage to make them remain excellent cutting tools. I think that's awesome. We'll go ahead and grab the magic calipers, and I'll tell you how much of this S35 VN you get. Make sure that's zeroed, and it's not. There we are. All right, back here at the thickest point, you're talking about almost 3.5 millimeters. So it is a nice thick slice of S35 VN, but because this flat up here is really high up the blade, you get a nice long drop and a very slicey edge. That's a great knife. Oh, and it's fun, which matters, right? For $200, you know, you can, I mean, you just carry a box cutter if you didn't care about anything, but you didn't care about anything else, but you get a lot of style in this knife. And yet it is, as I keep saying, still completely functional. Anyway, this excellent little tool is the Arcane Designs Preytheon. I'm really glad I added one to the collection. If you're interested in his stuff, follow the link in the description. You can see what's available. Keep an eye on what's coming. I appreciate you watching today. I hope you guys are having a great day yourselves. We'll see you next time.